Good morning, class 11 students. Today we are going to begin a new chapter, and it is from your book Snapshot Supplementary Reader. The chapter is written by William Saroyam, and it is called The Summer of the Beautiful White Horse. So, before we proceed with today's session, let's discuss a few things about the writer of the chapter, William Saroyam. He is an Armenian American novelist, playwright, and short story writer. He also won Pulitzer Prize for drama. What is Pulitzer Prize? It is an award for an achievement in American journalism, literature, or music. He is also a recipient of Academy Award for Best Story for the film Human Comedy. So, I think it's time we should begin. So, what do we have in this chapter, The Summer of the Beautiful White Horse? Let's find out. So, the story is about two Armenian boys who belongs to a tribe whose hallmarks are trust and honesty. So, the chapter revolves around two Armenian boys. Let me just tell you the name of these two boys. One is Aram, he is 9 years old, and Murad, he is 13-year old. And they belong to a very remarkable and a very, a beautiful community which is known for its, for its honesty. The people of this community, no matter what their status is, nobody lie, and they are very trustful. So, but what we see, that these two children who also belong to the same community, and the community is called Garogalanian. It is called Garogalanian tribe. These two children, they they steal a horse, but as per their own perception, they say that it is not a stealing, because they believe that they have just borrowed it from the owner. But they have forgotten that if you borrow if you borrow something from someone without taking his permission, it is also equivalent to stealing. So I believe one of the themes of the chapter is that uh, I think if you take something from from somebody without his permission, is same as stealing. So it was very unethical. It will be considered very unethical, on the part of these two Armenian boys, because they have given their explanation that they have borrowed it from the owner, but they have forgotten. They have not taken the permission. They have, they have borrowed the horse without the knowledge of the owner of the horse, the white horse. And the chapter also talks about the integrity and honesty, that you will see that this honesty is brimming in these people who belong to this community. It's called Garogalanian tribe. And now let's talk about the character we have in this chapter. So always remember, when you are when you write down all the question answers and homework in your notebook, please make sure that you mention the character in the beginning of the question answers, right below when you write the name of the chapter, right? So now let's talk about the characters we have in this chapter. We have Murad. Murad, he is a 13-year-old, an old cousin of the narrator Aram, right? And who is the narrator here? Aram. So let's talk more about Murad. What is his behavior like? Murad is very jolly. He is very jolly, and he's kind of a very cranky person, very crazy type, right? And what he does, he offers his cousin Aram to ride the white horse for some time, which he has stolen. Because according to us it is stolen, but according to them it is not stolen. They have borrowed, but it is unethical. And now let's talk about Aram. Aram is 9-year-old. He's younger, and he also justifies Murad stealing, his cousin stealing of the horse, for the purpose of horse riding. And he says that they don't mean to sell the horse. So it means it is not stealing. But children, remember, it is stealing because it has been taken without the consent of the owner. And who is the owner of this beautiful white horse? His name is John Byro. John Byro, he is a farmer and the owner of the beautiful white horse, right? And he is looking for his horse everywhere, and he's very sad and gloomy. And there is one more character, last but not the least, Uncle Khushro. Uncle Khushro, he is the narrator's uncle. He is Aram's uncle. And this fellow, Uncle Khushro, he is considered to be a very a crazy man, right? A crazy man, because he is, he has been described as someone who has a very short temper and a very irritable nature. And you will see that in the chapter you will find a bit of a few qualities, or you could say a few nature of character or traits of Uncle Khushro in Murad. So I think it's time for us to begin our chapter, because now we have already discussed the theme of the chapter. We have also discussed the characters of the chapter. So now we can actually begin the chapter. So let's start. One day back there in the good old days when I was 9 and the world was full of every imaginable kind of magnificence and life was delightful and mysterious dream, my cousin Murad, who was considered crazy by everybody who knew him except me, came to my house at 4 in the morning and woke me up, tapping on the window of my room. So this particular paragraph, it actually, talks about an incident that took place when the narrator was old, when he was 9-year old, right? When he was 9-year old. Magnificence means greatness and excellence, and mysterious means strange, right? Mysterious is called strange, and tapping means when you hit quickly and lightly with your fingers. And hallmarks, which we the statement that we read in the beginning of the chapter, they mention hallmark. Hallmark is actually a characteristics or a feature of something. So the paragraph talks about those days when narrator was young. That's how the children are. They are full of imagination, right? And it is always delightful, and life is always a mystery. It's like to explore, right? So what happened that day? His cousin Murad, who is considered crazy, he came to across his window and he tapped, and it was the VR in the morning. V means early hour, WEE, at 4 o'clock, 4 a.m. Aram, he said. Aram, he said. He tapped on the window and he said, Aram, open the window. I jumped out of my bed and looked out of the window. So narrator Aram, he woke up and he went to attend his cousin's call, who was outside the window. I could not believe what I saw. And in this line, the narrator mentions that the thing that he saw, he could not believe. So let's find out what was it. It was morning yet, but it was summer, and with daybreak not many minutes around the corner of the world, it was light enough for me to know I was dreaming. So in this paragraph, he wants to say that his cousin, he came at 4, right? So 4, the sun hasn't risen, right? But you could actually see, because it is it is dawn, so you could actually see a few things. The visibility is there, right? That is what he's trying to say. So my cousin Murad, he was sitting on a beautiful white horse. I stuck my head out of the window and rubbed my eyes. So what does this line tells us? That he wanted to believe, but he could not believe. That is why he's rubbing his eyes to make sure whether he was dreaming or not. So what did he see? He saw that his cousin was sitting on a beautiful white horse. And he said in Armenian, it's a horse, you're not dreaming, make it quick if you want to ride. And Murad, when he saw that his cousin was having a very difficult time in believing what he was seeing, he told him that it was not a dream, and he asked him to come outside and if he really wanted to enjoy the horse riding. I knew my cousin Murad enjoying being alive more than anybody else who had ever fallen into the world by mistake, but this was more than even I could believe. So he was all Adam is always aware that Murad is always up to some mischief, because he is not meant for this world. He's always doing something very crazy. But to have gone this, to have stolen the horse, it was unimaginable, right? In the first place, my earliest memories had been memories of horses, and my first longings had been longings, right? What does the longing mean? It means that you have a desire for something. So in this particular statement, Adam's earliest memory was of horses, right? And he always wanted to ride one. But that this was wonderful part, that he was actually going to ride a white horse. So this was the wonderful part. In the second place, we were poor, and the second thing was they were poor. This was the part that wouldn't permit me to believe what I saw. We were poor, and we had no money. Our whole tribe was poverty stricken. Poverty stricken means when they are completely into poverty, right? So suffering from extreme poverty. So what made him hard to believe? Because the first part was that he was so happy, that because it was always his longing to ride a horse. But the second part was that they belong to this trustful community. But the problem is, they don't this community is suffering from extreme poverty. So it means they cannot afford to buy a white horse, because horses are very expensive. And on top of it, it is a beautiful white horse. So let alone this can so this can never happen. So it was very hard for him to believe. Every branch of Garagolanian family was living in the most amazing and comical poverty in the world. They live in a they are suffering from poverty. Comical, it's silly, right? And could not understand where we ever got money enough to keep us with food in our bellies, and not even the old men of the family. And this is something very mysterious about this community, that this they are actually suffering from this you know poverty. But it is very mysterious that how this tribe managed to get food, and managed to fill their bellies with food every day. So most important of all, though, we were famous for our honesty. And the best part, I think they take pride in this, that they are famous for their honesty. And we had been famous for our honesty for something like 11 centuries, centuries, 100 years. So you can imagine that this is actually a remarkable tribe. They are actually very famous for this, for you know their honesty. And when we had been the wealthiest family in what we like to think was the world. So even when we had been the wealthiest family in what we like to think was the world, we were proud first and honest next. After that, we believed in right wrong. None of us would take advantage of anybody in the world, let alone steal. So this is something more about their community. That their community is like one can never imagine. Why? Because they were known for their honesty for 11 centuries. That they were honest, proud, and always believed in right and wrong, pros and cons. And no one from this tribe, from their family, would ever steal anything or would take advantage of anyone in the world. So that is what he is referring to. Consequently, even though I could see the horse so magnificent, even though I could smell it so lovely, even though I could hear it breathing so exciting, I could not believe the horse had anything to do with my cousin Murad, or with me, or with any of other members of our family, asleep or awake, because I knew my cousin Murad could not have bought the horse, and if he could not have bought it, he must have stolen it, and I refused to believe had stolen it. So this paragraph, it again talks about that, the family, and nobody in the family, nobody in the tribe could ever, manage to get a white horse. And he was so excited. So this leaves that Murad cannot buy the horse because he also belongs to the same community, right? So it means that he must have stolen it. But then again, uh, how could he say this? Because they actually belong to a tribe which has been famous for 11 centuries for their honesty. So he refused. Refused means when you actually deny to admit something, right? So he is refusing. He does not want to believe. No member of the Gargalanian family could be a thief because they cannot be a thief. I stayed first at my cousin and then at the horse. There was a pious stillness. What is pious? Pious means innocence and innocence. So pious stillness means he seemed innocence and uh, you know it is actually a complete word. Pious stillness and humor. It means innocence and unconcern, right? In each of them, which on the one hand delighted me and on the other frightened me, right? So he observed his cousin that he seemed very innocent and unconcerned. So he thought, no, my cousin cannot steal. But then again, he was frightened that there could be, something mischievous. But Murad, I said, where did you steal this horse? So finally, he took the courage and he asked his cousin that where did you steal the horse? He literally used the word steal. How could you use a word like steal for a tribe who has been famous for, their honesty for like 11 centuries? Okay, that is not possible. I mean, it is not right to use the word steal. Leap out of the window, he said, if you want to ride. And leap out means jump. He asked his cousin, no questioning. He did not answer his cousin. Murad did not answer. He did not respond. And he asked him to come out and enjoy the ride if he want to. So it was true, then he had stolen the horse. And he thought, yes, he had stolen the horse because he did not answer, right? And there was no question about it. He had come to invite me to ride or not, as I chose. So, well, it seemed to me stealing a horse for a ride was not the same thing as stealing something else. So this is where, these are the lines said by Aram, and this is actually Aram's justification, which we do not agree. Aram say that if they have stolen the horse for riding, it does not mean that it is stealing, because they would not steal it for the money, right? But actually it is stealing. For all I know, maybe it wasn't stealing at all. If you are crazy about horses the way my cousin Murad and I were, it wasn't stealing. So that's how he justified saying that we are actually mad about riding the horse, and we are not selling the horse for money. So it means it is not stealing, which of course I know we would never do, and he was also aware that they would never sell the horse. But children, it is stealing. I'm telling you again, it is stealing. Never do such thing in your life. Don't take anyone's belonging without their permission. Remember that. Let me put on some clothes, I said. All right, he said, but hurry, I leap into my clothes. So Murad, he put on his clothes, he put on his attire, he jumped down the yard from the window, right? He did not even use the door, he used his window to get out of the room. And because it was not, I mean, uh, the distance, right? I believe the this kind of a house where he lived, it is not very tall enough, right? So that is why he's able to jump out of the window. So he jumped, and then he sat behind his cousin Murad onto the horse, right? That year we lived at the edge of the town on Walnut Avenue. Where do they live? They were living at Walnut Avenue, and it is actually the outskirt of a town. So behind our house was the country. So behind their house, they could actually see a farm, vineyards, orchards, irrigation ditches. So this all could be seen. It is actually adjacent to their home, right? And in less than 3 minutes we were on Olive Avenue, and then this is another town, Olive Avenue, and the horse began to trot. Trot is it is the movement we use for horse when they run and walk. The air was new and lovely to breathe. The feel of the horse running was wonderful, and it was so exciting. They were on Olive Avenue. it was very windy, and they have a beautiful white horse. So my cousin Murad, who was considered one of the craziest member of our family, began to sing. I mean, he began to roar. So what happened next? The atmosphere was so good, ambience was so good. His cousin Murad, he started singing, and then he corrected himself that it was not singing, he was actually roaring. It means he does not sing well. So every family has a crazy streak in it somewhere. So I believe you remember I mentioned this in the beginning. Streak means an inherent quality. Inherent quality means which you receive from your father and parents, right? So he says that there will always be a member in your family who will receive such craziness. So Murad is also considered crazy, and he is considered the natural descendant. What is descendant? Someone, driving appearance or characters from a parent, right? So he is considered to be the crazy descendant of crazy streak Uncle Khusro, right? Before him was Uncle Khusro, an enormous. Enormous means huge man with a powerful head of black hair. This is his description. Huge man, black hair, and largest mustache, right? In San Joaquin Valley, a man of so furious in temper. He's short tempered, so irritable, and he's so impatient. Short temper means, irritable means bad temper. Furious means very angry. Uh, so, and talking by roaring, and he does not talk so politely. He is always roaring, and it is no harm. Pay no attention to, and you could actually see him and listen him roaring this line. It is no harm. Pay no attention to it. So that's all we have in today's session, everyone. We'll pick the remaining part of the chapter in the next video. And please do look for your homework on Ursal portal and complete it the day you receive it. Or what I trying to say is, please do not shrink from your responsibility. Do not shrink your work, because you cannot afford to skip your homework, not even a single day. So be faithful to your studies and to yourself. Do well. Thank you, everyone.